Hey, AJ, wow. AJ, wow.
You don't start.
Yes.
Yeah, my good one, my younger brother,
Okay. Okay. Let me check. Yes, it's on. Yes, it's on. See? Yeah, I'll do it from my end. I will just, I will download it from, I've seen it on YouTube. Okay,
Anybody watch it? Anybody watch it? Anybody watch it? Okay. Osimhen scores!
Let's get
There's a reason he scored. Victor trying to lead Nigeria to victory. An early goal for the Super Eagles. And they are trying to show how much they want.
Unity Cup right before us. The fourth. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws. I mean,
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. You've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we're hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here. In their white top.
this shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. It's only taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut. On your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays who plays
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth edition. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws. I mean,
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. We've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we'll be hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their first year of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
this technical.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. So it'll take him 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth edition. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws.
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. We've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we'll be hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their first year of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
This technical.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. So it'll take him 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria want Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth edition. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws.
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. We've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we're hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
This shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. It's only taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria want Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth edition. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws. I mean,
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. We've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we're hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
this shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. So it's taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth edition. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws.
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. We've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we're hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
This shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. So it's taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria won Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Cup is right before us. The fourth. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Oh,
The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. It's a very interesting figure leading them from the
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
5 minutes into his debut, Nigerian might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria watching that video.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut. On your debut, draw.
This one, Wellington's Unity Cup is right before us. So, this one.
It's equivalent to do this with you. Draw.
Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. It's a very interesting figure leading them from a
Nigerian might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth. So, this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws.
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. You've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we'll be hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
This technical.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth so this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws.
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. We've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we're hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
This shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. It's only taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
All right, let's get going real quick. And it's Nigeria versus Jamaica. It is Afrobeats against Reggae. In this Unity Cup final, and it's happening whilst the UEFA Champions League final is also going down right there in Budapest. So action filled all through in Europe, but we in Africa here are bringing to you the live watch along of the game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Reggae Boys of Jamaica. And I've got good news to share with you as we begin this broadcast. The Super Eagles have taken an early lead against Jamaica, and it has come from Alassane Abdoulaye of Lusitania. He plays his football in the second division in Portugal. Started the first semi-final game against Zimbabwe, and he has given Nigeria the lead right there at the Valley. That's the home stadium of Charlton Athletic. That's the latest. Nigeria 1, Jamaica 0, Afrobeats 1, Reggae 0. Timi is here to also make sense of all of that right here on vivxsports. Timi, what's popping?
Yeah, very good to be back in the studio, and it's a good one for the Super Eagles that they started on a winning note, or on a scoring note. Alassane Yusuf with that goal, fine strike into the back of the net for the Super Eagles to take lead as early as the third minute of this game. And you've got to say it's the continuity we've seen from Eric Shell's team when they played against Zimbabwe. Scored 2 goals, scored one in the first, scored the second one scored the second one in the second half, and it's just the continuity from there. Let's hope they'll get more goals in this match.
All right, we'll see about that one, but once again, early goal. Remember the game against Zimbabwe, it was Femi Aziz who scored on a debut. Actually scored a brace on debut, but it was an early opener as well that unsettled Zimbabwe. And for the record books, Femi Aziz became the first Nigerian player in 55 years to score a brace on his debut. The last time was Matthias Obiakuga. That's the man who did that against Upper Volta. Upper Volta is now called Burkina Faso, right? And he scored a debut brace against them. But Femi Aziz is also in action tonight against Jamaica, hoping to continue to impress Nigerians. To me, I mean, what would you make of his performance in that game against Zimbabwe?
I think it was a very good one for Femi Aziz. The fact that he was able to get on and also score 2 goals. I read some quotes attributed to the coach himself talking about Eric Shell. He was saying, I really didn't like the way he was playing off the ball, especially when he was missing passes, as the Jamaicans almost got an equalizer just now. But hey, just like I was saying, for Femi Aziz, it's an opportunity for him to sell himself to bigger clubs, even in Europe. Because when you play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they reckon that you're one of the big boys, one of the big stars to watch out for. And playing for Millwall in the championship, you've got to say he's really increasing his price, and more or less the eyes that will be on him in this summer transfer window. But having said all of that, Olali, you've got to talk about how well he took that first goal. I think that was the clincher for me to make sure that he gets into that Super Eagles squad, because it takes guts, it takes courage, it takes that confidence in you to be able to strike that kind of a ball in that instance, and you put it on target for a goal. So for Femi Aziz, I know he'll be growing in leaps and bounds in confidence heading into the main team of the Super Eagles, where he'll still have a chance to showcase his talents for us.
All right, but let's also note that Eric Chell has made only one change from the team that started in Tuesday's semi-final against Zimbabwe, and that is Rafiu Durosimi coming in for Philip Otele. So that's the only change that has made Arthur Okonkwo still starts in goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, after what a lot of Nigerians deemed as an impressive debut as well. For the Wrexham goalkeeper. Did you like him on debut?
Yeah, I like the fact that he was able to control his defense. One of the things I like about goalkeepers is being able to be vocal to your defenders. If you need to shout at them, if you need to talk to them, if you need to explain things, whether they are blocking you or whatever, I think he was able to communicate that with his defenders. And let's not forget, those defenders he's playing with, they are playing for the first time together. Wanyu, Igbo, Ogu also, I think they are playing, they are partnering themselves together for the first time, and also playing in front of the goalkeeper for the first time. Let's not forget the 2 wing backs are also home-based players who are playing also for the first. This will be their second appearance for the Super Eagles. So for the Wrexham goalkeeper, I like the fact that he was very confident. Maybe you want more of his long distributions to the infield passes. I would expect him to improve on that. But apart from that, his first primary assignment is to make sure he saves balls, and that was what he did against Zimbabwe in that first match.
All right, for Jamaica, who beats India in the other semi-final 2-0. They also have come to the Unity Cup with a largely home-based squad. You can see players from Cavalier, players from Tivoli. These are the top clubs in Jamaica. But let's take a look at how they look for this game already in 12 minutes of action. There's Boyce Clark in goal. There's Christopher Ainsworth. There's Brown, Clark. There's Cover. Connor Dixon is the landlord here. He plays at Charlton Athletic. Remember, he also scored against Nigeria in the Unity Cup final in 2024. So you're backing into probably the back of the next 2025, right? All right, and they also have got Fuller. There's Lowell, there's Merrick, and also there is the number 19 Cal Ming, who also plays in the Jamaican League with Mount Pleasant. So that's how Senegal, Jamaica look like. It's a largely home-based squad that they also have come to London with. It's still 1-0 in favor of Nigeria. And if you're just joining us, you haven't missed that much, but you've missed maybe the opening goal that came early through the boots of
Alassane
Yusuf, who is also playing back-to-back. And I thought he was good in the first game as well against Zimbabwe.
I like the combination with Tochukwu Nadi, who plays for Marseille. I think they had a very good chemistry in that midfield. Coupled with the fact that they also were very solid in the second half when Zimbabwe stepped up their game. You've got to give credit to Tochukwu Nadi and also Alassane Yusuf, who tried as much as possible to make sure they were breaking the attacking player of the Zimbabwean team. But I still expect them to still play much more together and still get that understanding between themselves. But all of that will still be called into question today against Jamaica. I would expect them to play 90 minutes, understanding the fact that football match is not played just for 45 minutes, because against Zimbabwe we saw them play very well in the first 45 minutes, but the second half they gave it up to the Zimbabweans. But let's hope that this time around the two of them will still control the midfield well. We've seen him score a goal here. Let's see if they will still improve better come second half.
Alright, let's also quickly bring you updates from Budapest and tell you that it's still deadlocked at 1-1, and extra time is almost over. Victor Gyökeres just missed a chance, but looks like we might have to go to penalties as far as the UEFA Champions League final is concerned. But hey, our main focus is right there at the Valley. Jamaica up against Nigeria, Unity Cup final, the very best of culture, music, entertainment, all coming together as we celebrate Afro-Caribbean culture, and we're right here on vivxsports for that. The goal scorer is Shehu Abdullahi, and Nigeria Alassane
Yusuf. Shehu Abdullahi is quite different from Alassane.
I don't know why Shehu Abdullahi keeps popping up for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But one of the takeaways for me after watching the game against Zimbabwe, and it's something I've upped on since I saw that game, is the reaches in depth that Eric Chow now can call upon.
Yep. You've got to say that we have a plethora of players abroad. Remember, before this game, before this friendly matches, he said he was going to use home-based players and the diasporan players. And I still read some of his quotes where he was saying that he still has so many players he's not even called up.
Yeah.
So for Nigeria, it's an advantage for us that we can call up so many players. But here is the problem: how many of these French players do we tend to always put into the Super Eagles squad to fight for the shirt against the regulars, the OGs in quotes now? You would have expected that more of these players that are getting the limelight, more of these players that Eric Chell gets to call up for these fringe matches or for these lesser games, they tend to get it also into the Super Eagles squad proper, because that's the essence. When you see very good players, I expect Femi Aziz now to get into the main Super Eagles squad for the Portugal and Poland friendly matches. Hopefully he gets into play, and also I would expect that some of the players that have at least shown scrap metal for the fullbacks, Oputa and also Ibuke, the two Rangers players. I expect also them maybe once in a while I call them up to the Super Eagles squad because I still feel that we need that fight in that our wing backs, especially when we have injuries to our main players like Olaino and maybe even the man who more or less who is supposed to take that place, Zaidu Sanusi. Sometimes he just flops in games, so I would expect a stiff competition. Let's not forget that the time Taiwo, the period when Taiwo got into the Super Eagles, he was playing for Lobby Stars and he became one of our mainstay, having lost the likes of Celestine Babayaro and also Ifeanyi Udeze. And then so I would want Eric Chell to put in that stiff fight for shared competition in the Super Eagles, where these players who have been invited will get the opportunity to get into the Super Eagles squad and fight for share. That's the essence of all of this. I hope it comes out to favor Nigeria in the end.
All right, don't forget that Super Eagles are involved in international friendlies next week, the 3rd of June, I believe, against Poland, and also on the 10th of June. The first one is 3rd, and the other one is on the 10th, on the eve of the kickoff of the World Cup, where they take on the Portuguese national team. And Poland and Portugal both have named very strong squads. Poland are being led by Robert Lewandowski, who is a free agent these days, and also Cristiano Ronaldo, who has just won the Saudi Pro League title with Al Nassr, and is chasing a first ever World Cup title. This is his 7th World Cup or 6th?
Sixth.
The 6th World Cup. A couple of the OGs all gone in for their 6th World Cup. Lionel Messi also has gone in for a 6th World Cup, and the evergreen, one of my favorite World Cup players of all time, Guillermo Ochoa of Mexico, might be second choice for Javier Aguirre, but for El Tri, he will be there in USA, Mexico and Canada for the Mexican national side. And trust me, we've got you covered as far as these games are concerned, and via vivxsports, we're bringing you all of the African flavor as far as the World Cup is concerned. And trust me, also Poland versus Nigeria, Portugal, Nigeria, all right here on vivxsports. Now let's get back to the game where it's still the Super Eagles of Nigeria dominating with 18 minutes gone. The ball now with Alassane Yusuf, tries to find Rafiu Drosimi on that left, and Chanel Kenneth Ibuke gets into the mix, but is dispossessed there. But Sheikh Abdullah Alassane Yusuf recovers well for a throw to Jamaica. But that was some good recovery work coming from Alassane, who has been all action since the Zimbabwe game. I mean, he's been around for a long while, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Remember, he came into the squad during Jose Pesero's time. The last Nations Cup before this one in Cote d'Ivoire, where he shone. But ever since then, I think he fizzled out in some ways where he wasn't given regular playing time.
Then I think the moves he made went from Belgium to America.
New Revolution.
Then from America to the second division in Portugal. The career trajectory was not
exactly. So I think that also didn't aid his continuous invitation to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But from the very first game he played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria during Jose Pesero's time, you've got to say he was a man of full action. Everybody was saying, where did we get this guy from? How was he not called up into the Super Eagles all this while? And so he's continued in that trend, he's continued in that stride, and you expect him, because more or less when you look at this squad, Olale, he's more or less like the most experienced player in the squad for the Super Eagles, because he's been to 2 Nations Cup now, and for Alassane Yusuf definitely shown his worth for the Super Eagles in these 2 friendly matches so far.
All right, let's also tell you that it has gone into the lottery of penalties in Budapest between Arsenal and PSG. This one is going into penalties. We can confirm that for you, and it's all about to start. But the Super Eagles still hold that lead against the Reggae boys of Jamaica. And don't also forget that Nigeria are defending champions of the Unity Cup. I think we've won it about 4 times.
3 times, 2002, 2004 and 2025.
Alright, so we are definitely buzzing the Unity Cup historically. Once again, it's still not a full house. I was hoping that being a final. I also understand tickets were slashed as well. So quite people to come through.
Because the last time Jamaica and Nigeria played, we had almost a full house. The stadium was full to almost to capacity, but we've also got to consider that Arsenal are playing at this very point in time in London.
And that game is happening in London as well.
You can understand why the fans are not in the stadium here for the match between Nigeria and also Jamaica.
Alright, we'll tell you that PSG are going to go first with the penalties via the captain. That's but apparently it's not the captain, it's Gonzalo Ramos who is going to take first for Paris Saint-Germain. It's nerve-wracking, even right here in our studios. It's definitely a lot of nerves. But just to give you a reminder to subscribe to our channel vivxsports. You can also call in live if you're watching the Super Eagles game. Your thoughts, the numbers are right at the bottom of your screen, so make sure that you join the conversation with us as Nigeria still lead against the Reggae boys of Jamaica. Still, let's get back to more Super Eagles thoughts. We're not going to the World Cup, right?
Yep.
But sadly, very sadly, we already accepted our fate. But it's still a busy year with AFCON qualifiers. You've seen the groups, and a lot of people are saying it's easy. Do you agree with them?
Oh, I have to agree. You're playing Madagascar, you're playing Guinea-Bissau. I don't think they are the strongest nation in Africa. Yes, we're playing Tanzania. We beat them already at the last Nations Cup, and I do expect them to be troublemakers for us. Even if you want to consider the fact that we also had more or less an easy group during the World Cup qualifiers where we messed things up. But you still expect that against Guinea-Bissau, 6 points should be certain. Against Madagascar, 6 points should be certain. Maybe the tricky part will just be playing against Tanzania, but we already know that it's just the team that tops that group that will go into the Nations Cup. So the Super Eagles have their work cut out. They need to understand that this is no time to dilly-dally. This is no time to try and play soft like we did in our first few games against Lesotho, where we drew against Lesotho, we drew against Zimbabwe on a neutral ground, for crying out loud. Olaole, I would expect that from the get-go we get all the points needed to qualify straight up. Even 2 games to go, we should have qualified for that Nations Cup next year.
Alright, but with the Super Eagles, nothing is ever straightforward, right?
That's the problem, because with the Super Eagles, there's always this hanky-panky, and this you're not sure of which team is going to step up on the particular day, especially when you don't have key players. I think that's my worry for the Super Eagles. I just hope that the NFF will get things, they'll get their acts right, because we also need them to be able to prepare these boys well, arrange the hotels, the flights, everything that they need to get done for them. It needs to be done before they start coming for those qualifiers. Hopefully we'll get things right and we qualify straight up without any hassles.
Alright, 23 minutes gone. Still Jamaica 0, Nigeria 1, and it's Alassane Yusuf, not sure on the line, with the opener, an early one for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. To also bring you some updates from Budapest, shootout has started, and it's 1-1 between PSG and also Desiree Doué, about to take a spot kick, which he has scored, so it's advantage PSG. They lead by 2-1 in shootout. After the Zimbabwe game, who really caught your eye? Everyone's talking about Femi Aziz, but who were the other players who really did it for you as far as that game was concerned?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I like the fact that the man playing our left back, Bouquet, he was able to run around. Remember, he also overlapped for that second goal.
He was involved in both goals, right?
Tere Murphy. So I think I like him. I want to see him in the Super Eagles main squad. I like the fact that he was stable. Yes, you also have to give credit to Oputa too. He was playing for the first time.
He grew into the game.
Yeah, he grew into the game. Definitely one to watch out for. Let's not also forget Wrexham goalkeeper. He was also solid in goal post. So for me, this were the players. I've already seen Igo Obu. He's been doing very well before for the Super Eagles anytime he's played. Talk about Nwayu, the Trabzonspor player. Also looks solid.
I like the way his career has been going. From Enyimba to Austria, Austria to Turkey.
And that's the kind of growth you want to see in a player, where he's not just stagnant in the place, playing just because he wants to earn money in football. I like the growth career of his, and definitely coming into the Super Eagles also gives us that opportunity to have plenty of options in that defense. So having said all of this, you also have to look at Nadi. He was solid too. Let's give it to him. Nadi was solid. The only player I really didn't were Otele, Philip Otele.
Yeah.
And, I think there was one
Samson Tijani.
He wasn't
started well, but faded off. Yeah.
I want to see Otele one more time before I can conclude and say, okay, maybe he's not fit for the Super Eagles. But for Samson Tijani, he's been here before. Remember, he got into
2020.
Yeah, before now. He was before with the under 20 guys, but now I think maybe the pressure also played a part because he's been away from the Super Eagles for a while. But having said all of that, Olawale, I think these boys are definitely the ones that I feel would get into the Super Eagles proper when we need to call up our squad for the qualifiers.
All right, it's getting really exciting in Budapest. Just to bring you more updates, both sides have missed penalties.
Yep.
It's going to be a very long shootout.
It's going to be a long one.
It's going to be a very long one. Also lost first through Iberichieze.
Yep.
And for Nuno Mendes, it was supposed to be a sport kick that should give them the advantage, but he has also missed. So we'll keep on monitoring things for you. Well, let's get back to London and tell you it's still Jamaica 0, Nigeria 1. And for Nigeria's lineup, Arthur Okonkwo, Femi Aziz, Rafiu Dorosimi, Kenneth Igboke, Terry Murphy is the captain once more. There's Tochukwu Nadi, there's Nwaiwu, Igor Ogbu, Chibueze Oputa, there's Alassane Shehu. That's where the Shehu is coming from, right? It's Alassane Ibrahim Shehu, right? And then there's also Samson Tijani. So you can understand where the Shehu Abdullah thing is really coming from. So we'll keep on bringing you all the updates you need. Remember that you can also be a part of this. You can send us super chats as well. Right, big shout to those who have supported this movement with super chats on YouTube, and really appreciate. So keep sending us more and keep encouraging us to bring you all the very best as far as African football is concerned. Talk about Africa. Let's get back to the shootout and Africa's best player.
Yep.
Achraf Hakimi is next up for PSG with the shootout. We know he's recovered from an injury that kept him out for about a month or two, and I'm surprised he lasted all night. He played 120 actually, and he's about to take his kick, which he has no surprises.
Yeah,
he scored.
Good one for Achraf Hakimi. Put his side ahead now. The lead Arsenal by 3-2. Both have missed a penalty each. Talking about the miss from Nuno Mendes and also the miss from Iberichieze. But right about now, the African Player of the Year, Achraf Hakimi, has given them the lead via the penalty shootout that is still ongoing. You've got to say it's still a tricky one here because Arsenal play next and they have to score now to even things up in the shootouts.
Alright, so we're finally back up and running with the Super Eagles game as Terry Murphy runs into traffic there. It's out for a throw in as Gabriel Martinelli gets ready to take for the Gunners. And it's make or break at this stage, and he has scored for Arsenal. So Arsenal still very much in it, but the Super Eagles have a throw in here, which can Igboke will go up. I mean, credit to Rangers, it meant they came to Lagos to play that clincher against Ikorodu City without Igboke and Oputa, two key
players,
fullbacks, and still won in convincing fashion against Ikorodu City.
You have to give it to Fidelity Lechuku, who masterminded that tactical play in which they ousted Ikorodu City at home. The first time Ikorodu City lost at home this season in the NPFL, and it tells you of how good those two players were. But in as much as they were good, they still didn't miss them because they were good replacement for Rangers in that final game of the season where they still won 2-1.
All right, Kenneth Igboke has the ball now as the Super Eagles slow down the pace a bit with Tochukwu Nadi. They obviously are not the side under pressure here, and Alassane finds Rafiu Dorosimi, who plays with already relegated Pisa in the Serie A. Remember, he made a record move from Czech side Victoria Pilsen to the Serie A. What's Kenneth Igboke thinking there? I think maybe was caught between two minds there. Well, the pitch also looks a bit strained after About three games.
Three games actually
in the
on the
space
same
of
pitch.
about 3-4 days.
Yeah, you expect the pitch not to be in the best shape of form or best shape in terms of quality, but they will soon make do with whatever they have here because it's still a game for them to play, and let's hope that the Super Eagles will be able to navigate well and still get the second goal in this game.
Alright, I'll be about to bring you some updates from Budapest, and yes, Paris Saint-Germain are champions of Europe again. They have defended the UEFA Champions League they won last season. They have beaten Arsenal 4-3 on penalties, and Arsenal's Gabriel Magalhaes missing that spot kick that was supposed to keep the Gunners in the game. So the Gunners will have to wait again.
It's so sad that they keep losing finals in Europe. I remember in 2001 or 2000 they lost against Galatasaray in the UEFA Cup. Then they also lost the UEFA Champions League final in 2006 against Barcelona. In 2019, I think in the UEFA Cup, or the Europa Cup actually, Europa League, they lost against Chelsea. And now again in the Champions League final, losing to the defending champion PSG. Sad one for Arsenal at this point in time that they had to lose this one on penalties. They say penalties are lotteries. You can go either way. You can either win or lose it. You can't stay in the middle. But for PSG, it's a big one for them. The first time they'll be doing it back to back, and for them, it's moments like this that you want to see in football. Congrats to PSG, but for Arsenal, for Mikel Arteta, they will need to recoup their losses here and try again next season. Let's not forget this was the same team that went unbeaten in the Champions League, but too bad that they couldn't just lay their hands on the trophy. Sad one for Mikel Arteta, but still you have to congratulate the winners, who are Luis Enrique's team, for the second time running champions of Europe.
So Mikel Arteta looking forlorn. That means Arsenal's 140 years of pain in Europe will continue. They've never won the European Cup, but back to the Super Eagles. Femi Aziz with a chance. It sits on his favorite left foot, but Boyce Clark is there to easily gather. But that was maybe a chance for the Super Eagles to be able to look more comfortable. But the Super Eagles still very much dictating the pace, tempo of this one as we switch. PSG champions of Europe. That's disappointment for a lot of Arsenal fans. And interestingly, Arsenal's title parade is tomorrow. So unfortunately, they won't be able to parade with two trophies.
I think they will take solace in the fact that they won the Premier League after their struggle to keep hold of that.
That's the fact that I thought taking PSG to the distance.
Yeah, should be a plus for them. I think Arsenal did very well. Tried to control that game in the first half, getting as much goals as they could have gotten, but they just couldn't get past the PSG defense. At the second half, they tried to step up, but PSG were just all over them. Got the equalizer from that penalty that was converted by Ousmane Dembele. But Olale, you've got to say PSG looks also very solid in this Champions League so far. They've looked very, very terrific. Like we said off air before coming into the studio here, we're talking about how Luis Enrique relaxes or rests some of his players for some of the player games in Ligue 1, and for them it's making them fresher for Champions League matches, and that's what we've seen here. For us now, they looked a bit leggy in the second half. They couldn't run, especially when their main midfielders and also the attackers were not just getting enough of the balls again. But hey, Olale, there's still a next season to play for. Arsenal can still get into the finals of the Champions League.
Seems Arsenal's Netflix has now been transferred to the Champions League. Alright, and for the African connection, we can say our congratulations to reigning African Player of the Year, Achraf Hakimi, for winning back-to-back UEFA Champions League titles with Paris Saint-Germain. But the Super Eagles are also hoping to make it back-to-back Unity Cup titles. The game right now is in the 35th minute as Rafiu Dorosima. I think the game has gone into a phase where it's just gotten into it's like a battle of attrition. Super Eagles are on top but not really creating enough. And Jamaica have just looked a team bereft of ideas, not knowing how to really go about hurting the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But they do have the ball now. So they come from the middle. Lovely pass into that left hand side, but Super Eagles win a throw again as Oputa will take. Another great work from Alassane Yusuf. Surely as we enter the summer transfer window, Oputa and Kenneth Igboke must definitely have caught the eye of a couple of clubs abroad.
Yeah, of course. These are the kind of opportunities you want to have as a home-based player, where you get to play for the Super Eagles, you get to show your stuff, you get to show how good you are playing for the national team. These are some of the games that enables you to showcase your talents to agents and also football clubs looking at signing players during this summer transfer window. And you've got to use this opportunity and grab it with both of your hands. And that's what Igboke has been trying to do. Not forgetting Oputa himself. Let's not even forget that some of these players who also play for fringe clubs in Europe will be using the opportunity to also sell themselves to bigger clubs in the world and also in Europe. I can name so many players who one way or the other play for the Super Eagles and got the opportunity to go and play abroad. So it's more or less an opportunity for them to still sell themselves to some of these agents who will be in the stadium, who might watch this match again via replay, who also might recommend them to other clubs too. So in all of this, it's a win-win for the players who get to play for the Super Eagles and also get to sell themselves to bigger clubs in Europe.
All right, we'll see what happens in the transfer window. Surely Kenneth Igboke and Chibueze Oputa have repped the NPFL, put them in very good light, and it's no surprise that they've come from the just newly minted champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League, Enugu Rangers, who have now equaled their number of titles with Enyimba.
Yep.
So both are on the same number of titles won.
Yep. Nine titles each for both sides, and you've got to say for Rangers they had to wait 30 years before they could win their seventh title.
That was in 2016.
2016.
Under Imama
and Mark Makabo. They also won it in 2024 under Fidelis Lechuku, their 8th title, and now the 9th title is coming when nobody expected them to win this season, because I really didn't see Rangers as one of the top teams to win the league title this season. But you've got to give them credit, Olale. They've got a stable management
to go past Enyimba.
Yeah, definitely. At this point in time, because Enyimba don't look like the Enyimba we used to know. Their recruitment has been very poor. Talking about since the entrance of Canon Nwankwo into that setup for Enyimba. We've not really seen Enyimba as the Enyimba we used to know under the Felix Ayansi era. Also, let's not forget that Modi years. And for me, when you keep changing coaches every now and then, he doesn't tell of how stable that team is, and that's my worry for Enyimba. At some point this season, Olawale, they were struggling with relegation battles, and that's a big sign that something is just not working for the Aba Elephants. I hope they get things right next season, because they are one of the best teams on the continent. When they talk about best teams from Nigeria, you've got to mention Enyimba. But when your best team cannot even qualify for any of the continental cups, it tells you of how bad they've been so far. But let's see how it goes next season. But you can't take it past Rangers at this point in time. They'll be gunning for that 10th title. But the worry now is, can they keep Fidelis Lechuku? Because stories we've heard here and there is the fact that he's saying, hey, they need to come and talk to me about a new contract, because his contract expires this at the end of the season. So I think they need to sit down. Amobi, the general manager of Rangers, I think he's done a very good job with this side since he became the general manager, and I think he will not be so I think he'll be smart enough to keep the winning coach who has gotten the Rangers title, 2 titles in 3 years. So I expect Fidelis Lechuku to trash out his contractual engagement with the Rangers and sort things out, and hopefully they go for that 10th title next season.
Alassane Yusuf is in some discomfort. He got mugged, got dispossessed, and that led to a Jamaican attack. But Arthur Okonkwo came to the rescue, but he's looked uncomfortable after he got dispossessed, as the medical team come through to check him out. As we take a look at the goal once again, which has come from a long throw from Kenneth Igboke, and the goalkeeper Boyce Clover just could not, Boyce Clark could not get a strong answer in it, and that saw Abdullahi Alassane tapped into the net, but it looks okay. He's walking unhinged as he exits the pitch. Should be back with us anytime soon.
I hope he's not a serious one at this point because he still looks very uncomfortable walking off the pitch. I just hope he's not something too serious for Alassane Yusuf. He's looked like a very stable man in that midfield for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I would expect him to come back into this team and finish up the first half.
Alright, play will restart in a bit as Arthur Okonkwo is getting ready to get us back. Remember that you can also call in. Let's have your thoughts. What do you like about the Super Eagles side? The World Cup is around the corner. Last time we were here for Nigeria Zimbabwe, even asking that will the World Cup miss Nigeria, and over 70% said no.
When did Nigeria start qualifying for the World Cup?
Over 70%.
That the World Cup will be missing a country that has only appeared 6 times.
Over 70% said no.
We started qualifying for the World Cup in 1994. The World Cup has been in existence in 1930. I think the funny thing with Nigeria is the fact that we don't learn from our mistakes. We don't learn from what hindered us in progressing from the last qualifiers. In 2005-2006, we had issues not qualifying for Germany 2006. We didn't learn our lessons, and now it's beginning to repeat itself. For the first time, we've been missing back-to-back World Cups. It's never happened since we started qualifying in 1994, and I find it very funny that people will still be saying that maybe the World Cup will miss Nigeria. In fact, there were some tweets I was saying that maybe FIFA just wants to get Nigeria because they want to get that attraction on social media so Nigeria can get to the World Cup. I was like, hey, come on guys, Nigeria is not the biggest money pooling country for FIFA. Let's put it in perspective. But all of that, I think it's still a shame, Olawale, that we couldn't qualify in a group where we had likes of Benin Republic, we had Lesotho, we had Zimbabwe, we had Rwanda. Olawale, it's a big shame, and I still feel that apart from the boys not performing on the field of play, you have to point accusing fingers too to the NFF. They were culprits in all of this. I don't understand how you let a manager go and you couldn't replace a manager for God knows how long. So the blame can go around between the NFF, the players, but more stops at the bulk of or at the desk of the NFF president, who really didn't handle the qualifier as well. But in all of this, the World Cup will come. We will enjoy it. 2022, we enjoyed Qatar. 2026, we are going to enjoy America, Canada, and Mexico.
I speak of the NFF president. He was in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State, to commiserate with Super Eagles player Samuel Chukwueze, who lost his mom a couple of months ago, and laid that to rest in Umuahia just yesterday. Our thoughts goes out to Samu. This very, very difficult period. And we're also coming to the end of the first period of this one in London. It's been a dour first half, lacking in real quality. Unfortunately, the Super Eagles still hold the lead here. Alassane Yusuf with that early goal. As we approach half-time here, Jamaica have looked clueless. They've lacked quality, they've lacked creativity. And for the Super Eagles of Nigeria as well, I'm not too sure what I've made of this first 45 minutes. Yes, we have scored the opener, but I thought against Zimbabwe it looked very good in that first half. The passing, the urgency, the creativity, but it's lacking. In this game against Jamaica, and it explains why even Eric Chell himself looks sort of concerned. We've seen pictures of him right now. He's looking forlorn.
I think what the Super Eagles are lacking here is just that good coordination in terms of their passes in the final third. I think that is what is lacking at this point in time. They've been able to move the ball very well from defense to midfield, trying to play the Chelsea way, where you want that progressive passes from defense to midfield to attack. But the problem here is the fact that the Super Eagles are still not connecting in that attacking the final third. You would have expected the likes of Femi Aziz and also maybe Terry Murphy
Aziz has He's
do more.
not involved at all.
Yeah, he's looked more like a ghost.
He's not involved
in this match. It's been very difficult to get that connection between the midfield and attack so far in this game, and that's what is lacking in this first half. We didn't see this against Zimbabwe, but let's hope that it's just a blip. Maybe the second half will give us something better.
All right, remember, you can still be a part of this watch along by calling us. The numbers are right there at the bottom of our screen, so just call us up, and if you're watching this game, let us know your thoughts on the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Just one change made. You get a feeling that second half might see quite a few if this team just doesn't really improve in its overall play. Femi Aziz was the star of the show in the semi-final, but it's looked not involved in this one at all. The only time I've seen him actively was when he had that pop goal, as the referee brings this first period to a close. It's half-time at the Valley in Charlton. Jamaica 0, Nigeria 1. And it's Alassane Yusuf that has made the difference between the Super Eagles and the Reggae boys, as both managers will be very, very, very much concerned about what they've seen in this first 45 minutes, and they'll be hoping that something changes in that second half. Remember, you can still join us, and don't also forget, subscribe to our channel as well. Just click on that subscribe button and be a part of that vivxsports family. The numbers to call: 234-813-6197-658. You can call us on mobile. You can call us on WhatsApp as well. We will be waiting. We can't wait to talk to you. And in case you've not been on planet Earth, let's tell you that Paris Saint-Germain are champions of Europe.
Yep.
Which is disappointment for Arsenal.
Actually, PSG saved the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they saved the world.
TV says that PSG just ensure that there was going to be world peace.
Yeah.
And probably they should get a Nobel Prize.
Exactly. Luis Enrique especially. This is his third Champions League title. I think he deserves that that Nobel Peace Award or Nobel Laureate Award for bringing peace to the world football.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, hopefully you get to take some of your thoughts via the calls on WhatsApp and on mobile. We'd love to talk to you. It's Jamaica 0, Nigeria 1. Unity Cup final. Second half is next up. Don't go anywhere.
Unity before us, the fourth edition. So this one,
it's a privilege to do this with you. Draws. I mean,
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. You've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tambo. And we're hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in the white top. This
Shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. It's only taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe new.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Cup is right before us. The fourth so this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws.
absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. You've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we'll be hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in the white top.
This shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. It's only taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe new.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays.
Unity Cup is right before us. The fourth edition. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws. I mean,
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. You've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we'll be hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their first year of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
this shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club.
Yeah, we're back for the second half of this Unity Cup final between Jamaica and Nigeria. It's 1-0 halftime, and it's Hassan Yusuf with the early goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. If he ends this way, that means the Super Eagles will have successfully defended their Unity Cup title, and to make sense of what we witnessed in the first half, and also look forward to the second period as well. Don't forget, you can be a part of this watch along. You can call in. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts as far as the Super Eagles is concerned. What have you made of the first 45 minutes of this one? Call us up. The numbers are right there at the bottom of your screen. Remember to also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, so you can get notifications anytime we're about to bring you some of the very, very best games as far as the FIFA World Cup is concerned. Kickoff is on the 11th of June. There's no Nigeria, we know that, but there's plenty of African flavor to go with it. There is Ghana, there is Tunisia, there is Egypt, there is Morocco, there's Senegal, there is Cape Verde. And that's it, right?
Yeah.
No, that is DR Congo.
Don't forget them.
I'm still missing out on 3 more countries, right? Because we're going with 10.
Algeria.
It's Algeria.
Yep. Tunisia.
There's Tunisia, which I mentioned as well. So a lot of African teams, and we'll be cooking all of that for you on vivxsports. Now, Timi, let's get back to this first half we have already seen. What were your thoughts? Can you summarize your thoughts from that first period?
Well, you've got to say the Super Eagles of Nigeria really, I think they were just having flashes of brilliance in that first half. We really didn't see complete dominance from them in the first 45 minutes. I think they allowed the Jamaicans also played into them or played them into their own half, and we saw so many opportunities where the Jamaicans could have also gotten a goal back, but then they just couldn't get the equalizer yet. But I would expect that the Super Eagles, the coach, he has seen some of the lapses from the first half where the Super Eagles players are really not blending well, especially like I mentioned earlier, that connection between the midfield and the final third, talking about the strikers, is not just there. Femi Aziz, who got 2 goals in that first game, I'm here to see him come to this party in this match against Jamaica. Yes, definitely you've got to say the Jamaican defense will also keep an eye on him, because they know, hey, he's the one that got those 2 goals against Zimbabwe, and definitely they want to keep an eye on him. But I want to see more collaborations between the likes of Terry Murphy, Femi Aziz, Durosimi, also trying to get a name.
Lacking,
yeah,
that chemistry.
It's not just there, it's not there. But let's hope that maybe the coach will have said 1 or 2 to them, and maybe tweaked 1 or 2 style of play from them, and see if we can get that second goal, because from the first half it was just a 50-50 between the 2 of them. Jamaica also, after conceding that goal, I think they stepped up their game, and the Super Eagles were not just as clinical as you would have expected, or as we would have expected. But like I said earlier, it's about those little chances in the game when the Super Eagles are having the balls. What do they do with it? Do they just give away the balls cheaply, or do they use it to get some opportunities in front of goal? That's what I want to see from the second half when the referee kicks it off.
All right, the players are back up on the pitch as we await commencement of the second half of this Unity Cup final between the Reggae Boys of Jamaica and the Super Eagles of Nigeria. No changes made so far by both managers, we want to believe. But you get a feeling that if the Super Eagles don't improve, Eric Chell might be forced to bring the changes. Alassane Yusuf looks very much better. Remember that he had a slight discomfort towards the end of that first half. He's also the captain of this team, and I think he's been the only one that I thought has really done well. But Alassane has been robbed. But good recovery from Chibikenwewu there. Sorry for a throw-in. Alassane knows he needs to do better there.
You can't be losing the balls in your half like that when the opponent is trying to pounce on you. Luckily for us, in that first half, we have to also give credit to the defensive pair of Igor Ogbu and also Waiwu, who made sure that the Jamaicans really didn't have any shots on target. So far so good. They've limited them just to playing in front of our 18-yard box, and that's the joy for me. I just want to see a more cohesive team going forward, a team that can strike some fear in the opponent's defense when they have the ball in their opponent's half. Beautiful fans we're seeing here in the stadium.
Beautiful faces.
And it's really consoling that women are beginning to watch football, and beautiful women at that, watching football, and it's a good one that even as the Arsenal match has finished, we are beginning to see that the stadium is beginning to come alive again.
Exactly.
And so maybe they're just maybe these are Arsenal fans.
Maybe those who have gone to do it watch. They are back.
They're back. Yeah.
It's been a successful
watch. It's been a fantastic one, because even me myself here, I'm happy that the stadium is beginning to fill up bit by bit. We are seeing fans now trickling into the stadium, the Charlton Valley.
God bless you.
But however you want to put it, Ali, the fact still remains that this is a final. The Super Eagles want to win this for the fourth time. I hope they're able to keep up to this lead that they have. The only good thing for me is the fact that the defense have been very, very solid. The defenders have been very, very solid. The pair of the centre backs, solid defending, we've seen from them. The only problem I just have is Iboke. I've not seen that he's blistering, overlapping runs in this match so far. Let's see if he will come up with it in the second half.
Alright, it's Opulta with a throw now. Sends it to Femi Aziz. Femi Aziz linking up nicely with Alassane. But that pass is intercepted. And Jamaica wins a free kick. Jamaica know that they need to get the next goal of this game if there's going to be one. And they need to find a way to start playing really well. There's been no method to their madness. They've not really been coherent in terms of the way they want to go about this game. They need clarity in ideas. The best we've seen from them is try to build up from the back, but once they get to the midfield, they're lacking in ideas. There seems to be a confrontation involving the Jamaican number 21 and I think that's Chibikenwewu. And that appears to be Dejan Brown, the Portville forward, who barged into Chibikenwewu, sent him to the cleaners, and actually barged into another player, but Chibikenwewu was just trying to put him straight. So Chukwunadi also, trying to intervene.
Yeah, I guess in between them, trying to settle the scuffle they're having. I don't think it's necessary for all the Swans. Let's just play football and get on with it. I think that's what the referee is trying to tell the Jamaican number 21 shirt. Just to play football here. Yeah, you've gotten the free kick. The referee has given you that favor. Why not just concentrate on that and let's play football?
Alright, also do remember that Jamaica also narrowly missed out on the FIFA World Cup to DR Congo in the Inter-Confederation playoffs. That was after they also missed out to Curacao.
Yep.
Right?
In the qualifiers.
In the qualifiers.
For the North American zone.
Yeah, and Curacao in Scotland today to play an international friendly, although they got beat 4-1.
I don't know about you, but I just feel that Curacao getting into the World Cup is just the advantage of having an expanded World Cup. 48 teams getting the opportunity to fight for that one trophy.
Cape Verde as well.
Cape Verde getting into that mix also. DR Congo for the first time in God knows how long.
50 years.
So it's a good opportunity that these teams having the opportunity to rep their countries. Let's not forget New Zealand somehow will be playing at the World Cup too. We always see only maybe Australia from that region, even though they've now moved to Asia. So it tells you how this is all encompassing now from FIFA, trying to get more teams to be partakers of the World Cup. Let's just hope that we'll have good games in all of this, because I don't want to see a World Cup where like Tahiti came to the Confederations Cup that year and they got beaten black and blue. I hope we will not have this at the World Cup, because the World Cup is supposed to be the best of the best teams from all over the world, from all over the continents, coming to fight for that one trophy. Hopefully we'll get good performances from Curacao, from Cape Verde, and also maybe from all the teams who will be showing. Haiti, by the way, also in the World Cup.
And talk about Curacao, they're being managed by the legendary Dick Advocat, who made an emotional return to Scotland. Remember, he won the domestic treble with Glasgow Rangers back in 1999. Would have thought?
That was a long time ago.
Someone was a manager in 1999. Fast forward 2026, we'll still be managing at the World Cup.
Yeah, but the Cat has always been a name here and there. I remember he was coach of the Dutch team too, the Dutch side at some point.
Yeah, coached the Dutch side. Coached the South Korean team.
Yeah,
coached Russia as well.
Exactly. So he's been here and there. It looks like a traveler who has not come to Africa, by the way. Reminds me of one Bora Milutinovic and also Claude Leroy of the African movement, always going from one country to the other. But it's a good one that they have an experienced coach taking them to the World Cup. Let's see what they'll be able to do, the performance they'll be able to churn out in their group.
Interestingly, after he qualified Curacao for the World Cup, the Advocat resigned to go take care of his ailing daughter. But the standing manager who came in lost some pre-World Cup friendlies, and they had to go beg Advocat, please, you need to go take us back to the World Cup. And fortunately for them, Advocat's daughter, her health improved and he took the job back. Alright, for Jamaica, they also used to be managed by former England manager Steve McLaren.
Steve McLaren,
who had to fall on his sword after Jamaica failed to qualify for the World Cup. He also pointed out a lot of problems administratively with Jamaican football. I mean, I was reading about it, and it was like the NFL where the guys,
it's
for the flight tickets of their players.
It's crazy because some of these Jamaican players who play in the Premier League, you have expected them. I know of some of them who really wanted to help the Jamaican side, but it's just funny that it's always the administrative lapses that keeps bedeviling the progress of some of these countries, and it's really surprising that what we see in Africa is also replicating itself in North America, in Jamaica, in Haiti. The other time it was about an administrator trying to sleep with on the age girls for their female national team and stuff like that. These things are really not something you want to be seen on the world of football, in the world of football. But hey, it is what it is. When corruption is so paramount in whatever association, you tend to always see people into the national team where they don't get to perform. But for Jamaica, it's so sad that the likes of Curacao will be at the World Cup and they will not be going, just like Nigeria too. DR Congo will be going instead of us, even though we had the back door to get into that World Cup, but we just still messed it up, and it's all down to the administrative lapses that keeps showing up. It's rearing up its ugly head here and there every year when we don't do our things right.
All right, back to the game. Nothing has changed. It's still Nigeria leading by a goal to nil.
And Olale, you've got to talk about the Super Eagles side. I think they look more relaxed here in the second half, playing a very, very relaxed football, not really taking the game to the Jamaicans. Maybe because the Jamaicans too are not really threatening, because I still don't see them trying to even threatening the goalkeeper. Talking about Arthur Okonkwo, who has been on vacation so far.
Even in the game against Zimbabwe.
Because I
didn't have to make anything serious, right?
But you just have to expect that the Jamaicans, these ones are not giving a stiff fight to the Super Eagles, and to even know that this is a third string Super Eagles tells you of how mediocre this Jamaican side are so far in this game.
All right, Jamaica trying to get back into it with a long ball, but Arthur Okonkwo will easily send that out, but it lands in enemy territory. But Jamaica might just make a rare chance to attack here, but that's been snuffed out. Alessandro with the ball here. Rafi Durosimi receives it. Lovely move there from the Pisa centre forward, but he's lost it again. And I think that's been the theme of the game. There's been moments where something could happen, but it just gets snuffed out.
I think it's part of what I've been talking about. That cohesion, that understanding. You see Durosimi there making that run. You have expected somebody to close, get close to him, but hey, it just didn't happen. And that's the understanding you want to build over time. Once this team keeps getting the invite to the Super Eagles.
All right, Jamaica now come forward, but that's stopped again. They'll have to build. Again from the back. Boyce Clark, the goalkeeper, sends a long one. But that should easily find out. Okonkwo almost gets into trouble there.
That was close.
That was a really close one.
I think he missed.
Lack of communication from the back line as well.
He also missed his timing in coming out to get that ball. I think he needs to watch that. Talking about the Wrexham goalkeeper, he needs to communicate better. And also, one thing I always say, a goalkeeper shouldn't be caught in no man's land. When you come out to catch a ball, make sure you are getting your hands on it. Look at the ball again, from this slow mo.
No, but look at the communication from Ogbu and Igboke. It was lacking.
I think Ogbu intentionally left the ball for him because he wasn't chasing. Look at him. He knew the ball was way over him. He didn't chase. That ball was in the territory of Arthur Okonkwo, who should have done better there. He was lucky. He wasn't punished for that. And Nigeria still a goal up.
All right, remember you can still call in. We'd love to hear from you wherever you are watching this watch-along from. We will be chumped to hear from you. The numbers are right there at the bottom of your screen. Join this conversation. Do you like what you're saying, this Super Eagles side? Don't forget, we're back in action again next week. We're up against Poland and also up against Portugal. It's like reorganizing a send-forth
for the Portuguese team.
For the Portuguese side, because we played them on the eve of the kickoff of the World Cup, and the opening game of the World Cup also has got some African flavor to go with it.
Yeah, because
it's goals Mexico against South Africa.
Yeah, and apart from that, the Portuguese that we're playing, they're trying to gear up for that game against DR Congo, because they know DR Congo knocked us out, and they use the opportunity to set up that friendly with Nigeria to test the might against an African side that they will be playing in the same group with them. So for the game against Portugal, I think we'll play them also before we went to the World Cup in 2018. Was it 2018 or 2022? I can't remember, but I know we played them once like that, and we got trounced. We got beaten by the Portuguese team. But let's hope that the Super Eagles will step up against them, knowing that they'll be playing against Ronaldo. Okay, I think it was during Finidis time.
I think it was 4-3 or something like that.
Yeah, when he wanted to get a shirt of I think Pepe or so, if I can remember well. So I just hope that this time around the Super Eagles will step up their game and also show themselves in those two friendly matches against Poland and Portugal.
And these are games that can also help with ranking points. Just by goals on the attack. Femi Aziz, lovely feint in there, gets across from the byline and it's a goal! It's a goal! Tera Murphy has doubled it for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, almost out of nothing. It's Jamaica 0, Nigeria 2. The Unity Cup is almost in the bag for Nigeria, and that was some great moment of magic for from Femi Aziz in there to me.
And it was a good press, Olawale, good press from the Super Eagles. They almost lost the attack there. The Jamaicans also were sluggish in taking that ball away from their danger zone. But I've got to give it to the Super Eagles of Nigeria for pressing harder, kept going for that ball just when the Jamaicans were trying to knock themselves off, or more or less knock the ball off their 18-yard box. You've got to also give credit to
Timi, sorry to stop you in your tracks. I think we have someone join us all there from India. Hello, how are you? Are you watching? Hi, good evening. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I can hear you, but we can barely hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from India, Punjab.
You're calling from India. Okay, I feel so sorry about that. That just got disconnected. But now someone all the way from India. Unfortunately, India also lost to Jamaica in the
first
semi-final. But let's go again. I think someone is trying to reach us out again. I think it's still Anderson from India. Hi. Good evening. Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
How are you? What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from India, Punjab.
Okay, India, Punjab. All right, are you watching the Super Eagles right now?
Yeah, I'm witnessing live, but I'm witnessing live in studio, and I'm sharing from Nigeria.
Oh, you're cheering for Nigeria. That's great. Really, really great. Nigeria leading 2-0.
Yeah, because I'm from Liberia, and
okay. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, you said you're from Liberia.
Yeah, I'm from Liberia, so Nigeria is from West Africa. So
definitely.
I'm from West Africa. I'm saying about Nigeria.
All right, massive. Thank you very much for the support. Really appreciate it, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty, that's our friend from India, but he is Liberian and he's trumping for the Super Eagles who have doubled the trouble for Jamaica. It has all come out of nothing, but once again, that was a moment of quality from Nigeria there.
Femi Aziz, you have to give him credit for that, lashing onto that loose ball and getting the opportunity to take on his defender, still find that pinpoint pass to Terry Murphy, who was just waiting for that sweet ball to head into an empty net. A fantastic build-up also from the Nigerians, especially the pressing to win the ball back in the half of the Jamaicans. So sad for the Jamaican coach who is more or less now clueless of what to do at this point in time, because they've not really been fantastic talking about the Jamaicans themselves, and they allow that pressure to get to them in their own 18-yard box, losing the ball in that dangerous zone. Gave the opportunity for the Super Eagles to pounce. Durosimi getting that pass to Femi Aziz, who also latched on that cross to Terry Murphy. Fantastic goal from the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and deservedly they've gotten that second goal. That's the understanding I want to see from the attackers, where they play those passes together and they open up spaces for themselves to be able to create goal avenue or create goals for themselves. So hopefully I want to see maybe one more goal just to ease things up, because this Jamaican side really, Olawale, they've not been up to it. They've not been up to par.
All right, you could probably say game set match for Super Eagles, but we are just 64 minutes gone, but there might be another Super Eagles player needing medical attention. There are some Samson Tijani there. It looks like has to do with something with the thigh, as we see the medical team come through to check him out. And we also see Terry Murphy, who right now has been told by FC Porto that they won't be keeping him on the long term. I think it has to do with negotiations between Porto and Nice. I mean, lovely piece of skill from Femi Aziz, and the fact that I was able to keep it from going out. Sends that cross in, and I mean, no price for guessing. Terry Murphy was always going to score from there.
I think it was just an easy header from Terry Murphy. That would be one of the easiest goal he would have ever scored in his career, because the ball was just coming to his head direct, and the goal was gaping wide for him to put that ball into the net. But good press also, like I said, from Nigeria. Good pass, good leg work, the skills from Femi Aziz to be able to beat his marker and still sending that cross in that tight space tells you of how good, how credible his attacking instincts are for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He's gotten 2 goals now and an assist in 3 games, or more or less in 2 games. That tells you of a man who can do big things for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right, the Millwall forward is also hoping that he could probably get a Premier League move in the summer. Don't forget, we also have another player on the bench who plies his trade in the 3rd division of English football. That's Owen Oseni. Came on in the game against Zimbabwe. Plays for Plymouth Argyle. Are you surprised that Eric Chell has not made changes so far?
Well, I think he's trying to keep this team and see what they can do. Still the team that more or less got that first win in the first semi-final against India. I think he's trying to still see the kind of players that they are, maybe test the quality that they can bring in. And another thing is the Super Eagles more or less have not really been threatened in this game, so to say. Yes, their passes maybe could have been much more crispier, better, neater, and but you just have to give time to the changes you want to make, because if you want to bring in changes now, you want somebody who might want to improve the quality of play and not necessarily try to start defending this 2-goal lead. But at this point in time, you would expect him to still bring in some players to still test their might. Like I said earlier, I still want to see that Philip Otele. I want to see him play again, see if he really fits to be called up for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I think Eric Chell is just taking his time before he makes his changes here.
All right, free kick on the edge of the area, won by Femi Aziz. Another deft move from the Millwall forward. This time wins the free kick. Just moments ago he tried one, but ran into trouble. I think that was what Eric Chell also was trying to point out from the first game, that he had great moments where he recovered the ball, also had moments where he lost the ball, and I think we saw those moments just a few seconds ago. But this was a free kick on the edge of the arc. Sterling Murphy, Femi Aziz and Tochukwunadi stand over it, and that must be a cause of worry for Jamaica, because if this one goes in, definitely it's game set match. As Boyce Clark tries to organize his wall. Timi, how many yards this?
You can call it maybe just about 20 yards out. Because as it is, you've got to say it's just outside of the 18-yard box, and that should be around even maybe 20 yards out. Yes, for this goal, it could be an opportunity for Femi Aziz, who is trying to take this one.
All right, Femi Aziz on it, sends it low, but into the loving arms of Boyce Clark.
That was a smart one from him, trying to play the ball in between the wall, even though the goalkeeper was still stationed where that ball came to. But good idea from Femi Aziz. That was not a bad free kick at all.
All right, looks like Jamaica will be making a change soon, but play continues as they attack through left. Lovely cross in there, but that finishing touch was lacking from Kanaim Dixon, the Charlton Athletic forward. Super Eagles come forward now, but it's been lost by Alassane. Was clutching at his knee.
I think at this point in time, Eric Chell needs to switch Alassane out of this match.
But that was a lovely chance for Kanaim Dixon. He should be doing better there.
It was a good chance, but he just couldn't use the opportunity. Like I said earlier, I think at this point in time, the changes should start ringing in. Alassane shouldn't be covering an injury in this match where the Super Eagles are already 2-goal up, and we also see Femi Aziz limping at this point in time.
There's a bit of fatigue in there. I think Eric Chell has to ring the changes.
Yeah,
it's 2-0.
He has to at this point.
Jamaica come forward again, and they seem to have increased the tempo. Another cross comes in. There's a Jamaican player on the turf, and the referee might be about to allow play stop, but Jamaica continue to attack. Super Eagles clear just for now, and finally the referee says play has to be altered. And looks like the Jamaican player down is clutching at his thigh. If you're just joining in, Paris Saint-Germain have won the Champions League, and also will only have to parade their Premier League trophy at the trophy parade tomorrow in London. Double change being prepared by the Jamaican manager. As you see, Bailey Kadamateri, the Wrexham striker, sets to come on. Also preparing to come on is Van der Wettering. Van der Wettering plays his football with Eindhoven FC. That's in the Dutch second division. Yeah, I think that's a groin. That's a groin problem. Yeah, I think his races run is done with the game. So that will be an injury enforced change. As play remains altered. And it's the Jamaican number 12 Edwards coming off. And they'll be hoping that this changes can have an instantaneous impact for them. If they could probably get one before the 80th minutes, could make things a bit nervy for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I mean, you don't want to cop this kind of injury. You've had a long season.
Yeah.
You probably just want to go to the beach and refresh, reset. But now you probably start going into recovery mode ahead of the new season again as a football player.
Yeah, but I think it will be worrying for the club he plays for, and also it will be worrying for him at the point where he needs to start maybe just relaxing and just getting ready for the next season. He now has to go for a recuperation from this groin injury. Let's hope it's not that serious and it's not something that will keep him out of football for a while. But the change has been made. The substitution has come on. The substitute has come on for Edwards, and the Jamaicans are looking more like they want to get a goal in this match.
Alright, another lovely opportunity for Kahan Dixon to get Jamaica back into the game, but it's miscued. We go off a goal kick. But I mean, credit to Jamaica. Last minute or two, they've upped the ante. What can it lead to getting something meaningful out of it? That's the $1 million question. They know that they need to get a goal and do that as soon as possible, as Arthur Okonkwo will send this one long.
Still no changes from Eric Shell, and it's already 72 minutes in the game. You expect that
maybe until Alassane pulls a groin as well.
I don't know, but I think that wouldn't be really befitting of the coach when you know this player has played 2 back-to-back matches now. These are times that the players need to be relaxing their muscles, relaxing their legs, and not getting into unnecessary injuries that might keep them out of their club pre-season. Let's hope that Eric Shell will start bringing those changes as soon as possible.
Alright, we've entered the final 18-70 minutes of this game. Super Eagles looking comfortable against the Reggae boys. It's 2-0, they did. And they will be open for more, hungry for more. As now they're not forced to really make inroads, just want to control the tempo of the game. Kenneth Igboke, another fantastic one up front, sends the ball, but that's been intercepted smartly by Jamaica. I'm not sure that Igboke has been really good tonight.
Yep, I think it's just been average. So far, so good. The Igboke we saw in that game against Zimbabwe, it's not the same one we are seeing here today. He's lost the ball a couple of times, and that's a worrying sign that the coach might not really like. But let's see and hope that it won't work against him, because from that game against Zimbabwe, he was really solid. I would really want to see more of him in the Super Eagles squad. The way he was bumping forward, the way he was overlapping, making those overlapping runs was exciting to see against Zimbabwe. But this time around, his overlapping runs, yes, is there in this game, but then he's been losing the balls almost every now and then. He's tried to connect with his teammates up front.
Alright, foul on I think that's Femi Aziz, who at a track back.
Aye.
And he looks like he's in pain as he clutches onto his knee. but maybe also has to deal with cramps as well.
Yep, that could also play into him, knowing that.
But credit that he had to drop that deep to help out with the defense.
Yeah, and he was almost winning the ball there.
Yeah,
he was almost winning the ball, but I think he's fine. He's better now. Just a little cramp in the leg. He's trying to shake it off and continue with the game.
All right, play will resume with a Jamaican throw. In Jamaica, have lacked, they've lacked creativity.
Yep.
They've not put a full right in this one.
They don't have that verve in attack. You just can't see them getting past that solid defensive work that the Super Eagles have built in this match. They're struggling actually to get into the 18-yard box. Apart from that long ball from the goalkeeper, where Nkonkwo almost messed things up with his catch there, but I think apart from that, the Jamaicans have not really done anything fantastic in this game in the first and second half. They've huffed and puffed, but now we see the Super Eagles still striding from the left side now as the ball gets into the box, but nobody to connect with that pass coming into the 18-yard.
Alright, Nigeria still asking for more.
Like Oliver Twist,
Aziz loses it again, and I'm sure Richel is taking note.
Yeah.
He needs to really improve on that, his ball retention.
Yeah.
I know he wants to impress.
I think one of the things again is when you try to get onto the ball too many times, you tend to attract too many defenders on yourself, and maybe Femi Aziz needs to do less of trying to get the balls every now and then. We know he can score goals. He should just position himself to get into those 18-yard box instead of trying to make those runs, trying to take on players and the rest of them. Because in this game we've seen him trying to do too many take-ons that are not really necessary. Yes, maybe one has won him a free kick that he took himself, but hey, he needs to watch it because the coach has already said he needs to watch that about his game for the Super Eagles.
It's still Jamaica 0, Nigeria 2. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation right on this Watchalong on vivxsports. Just dial those numbers at the bottom of your screen. You can call in via WhatsApp. We're also available mobile as well for those who are in Nigeria. And let us know what you've made of this experimental Super Eagles squad. How impressed are you with this team? And also don't forget, FIFA also has graded this tournament as a tier 1, which means that ranking points will also apply. So that means that the Super Eagles, they also do it against Spain and Portugal. I see them really make a massive leap in the next FIFA rankings.
That will be after the World Cup.
Yes, definitely. And someone said, while our mates are preparing and playing the World Cup preparatory friendlies, we are playing the Unity Cup.
Yeah, there's a cup.
That's what it is.
Yeah, there's a cup in there.
Silverware.
Yeah.
Right? If you give us the Unity Cup, they will definitely,
I don't know about that. I don't know about
also
that.
do anything to win the Unity Cup.
I don't know about that. Maybe a Champions League, but not the Unity Cup.
Fenias finally has been subbed off. Philip Otele will come on. That means Timi will get to finally have a look at Philip Otele again. I think it looks exhausted, it looks spent, Femi Aziz.
Yeah, but I think he's done the magic here, creating that or getting the assist for that second goal. That should give him another call up to the Super Eagles squad. 2 goals, 1 assist in 2 matches. That's a good enough start for him.
Alright, the Hamburg forward Philip Otele is on, and that's the only change Eric Chell has made so far. As Terem Murphy tries to combine with Rafiu Durosimi. Oputa sends the ball to Alassane to Chukwunadi. Spigles just taking their time in midfield. The exchange pass is Kenneth Iboke now on the left. Finds Rafiu Durosimi. Spigles lovely way to break the Jamaican press there. Oputa now on the right hand side. Sure that these 2 games in London has been a massive eye-opener for the Rangers fullbacks. They definitely go back to Nigeria with a lot of experience. But the only way it gets better for them is to keep on Eric Chell keep on calling them up.
Yeah,
They've impressed.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't keep just calling them up and not playing them. The next sets of matches we'll be having after the Portugal and Poland matches will be qualifiers, and but you don't want to start testing players in your qualifiers. But I think the regular players are definitely going to get a chance. Maybe when injuries come here and there, then you can start talking about picking some of those players who have really shone brightly in these two friendly matches.
All right, Filippo Tele with good work from that left-hand flank, but Jamaica tidy things up, but ball still Spigos. Kenneth Iboke finds Otele again. Iboke gradually coming to his own, tries to get across him, but it's just not neat enough. Super Eagles now in total control, and they win a free kick to Chukwunadi. Great work there.
Absolute press from the Super Eagles trying to get the ball back just in the half of the Jamaicans, and you've got to give it to them. They lost the ball a couple of times in that 18-yard box, but they kept on the press, they kept on the pressure, and they've won a free kick via to Chukwunadi, just as the Jamaicans now will be making 2 extra changes, trying to bring in some fresh legs to help in this their collapsing midfield, because it's non-existent at this point in time. The likes of Chukwunadi, Alassane Yusuf, and also Samson Tijani are running riots in this midfield, and you just have this feeling that it's just about whether they will get that third goal now or not.
All right, Jamaica making another double change. Giovanni Lang is about to come on, the number 4, and the brief is just to just see how he can get us back into the game. So Giovanni Lang comes on alongside Nicholas Simmons, who plays his football in MLS with FC Dallas. Will they be able to get Jamaica back into this as we approach the final 10 minutes of this one? Loose pass from Chibike Wewu, but it's well recovered. As the ball is sent into the channel for Afidosini, who battles hard but loses that battle, and it's considered a foul. Now some strong work coming from Lowe, the Jamaican captain. Had to be strong there and win that free kick. What other lessons do you think that Mary Chavas have taken from this Unity Cup as the Super Eagles prepare to lift another Unity Cup title?
Well, first off, I think the more chances you give to some of these fringe players, the better they show themselves. That's one lesson he will definitely have gotten. And also the fact that if he gets more playing time for some of these players, they will definitely understand what his tactics are, the kind of play he wants the Super Eagles to play. Over these 2 matches that they've played, I've seen the Super Eagles play a certain pattern of passes, play a certain pattern of game in which it can only come from the Eric Chell himself, about how they're trying to push the ball out from their own half into the opponent's half. I think another thing Eric Chell would have learned in these 2 games that he's played is the fact that some of these home-based players are not that bad. Oputa, Iboke, yes, maybe he's not been so fantastic like he was in the game against Zimbabwe, but at least he knows that now he can depend on some of these home-based players. Hopefully they will still be relevant and they will not jump for any opportunity to go and play abroad, because once they go abroad they might not just be getting that call up again to the Super Eagles.
So would you rather stay at Rangers than go get a deal?
Definitely, if you have the chance to go make money for yourself, why not? But hey, you know that your chances of getting into the Super Eagles will be slimmer, because then you might not be playing for one of the top tier teams. I can name so many players who have left, who got invitation via the home league. They got to the Super Eagles and they got signed by foreign clubs, and they never get the opportunity to come back to the Super Eagles. So many of them like that. But like I said, it's an eye-opener for some of the new players that we've seen. Like I've said before, I like Oputa, I want to see him again. I like Iboke, I want to see him again. Wanyu and Igbo, fantastic understanding spine in that defense. The only player I'm not really impressed with so far is Samson Tijani. He's not really shown me why he needs to be called into the Super Eagles again. But from what we've seen so far, I think Eric Shell has taken a note of the good players he will definitely want to invite to the main team of the Super Eagles, and one of them has to also be Femi Aziz, whether or not we like it.
All right, Femi Aziz getting plenty of love from Timi Owe there. It's definitely been the star boy for Nigeria in this Unity Cup campaign that can be deemed successful. Looks like Eric Chell will have to make another change. I'm surprised he's not refreshed his team. He's let it get to this where players are pulling up, and now it's Chibike Nwewu who has broken down and is prepared to be replaced.
I think the player that will replace him is
Tijani Alamin,
the Shooting Stars player.
Yeah.
And another opportunity for another home-based player. The last time it was some of the home-based players too from Ikorodu City that got into the game against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, Toshe Edoku and also I think it was Adeoye.
Adeoye. So I think it's almost the same thing he's trying to do here. Giving another opportunity to another home-based players or another home-based player. Remember, he actually said he was going to check these players out. He invited them, and also some of the French players from the diaspora, the ones playing this Unity Cup. It's good that they will have a cap to their names.
So interestingly, I mean, if this game ends this way, we'll probably only the Shooting Stars player coming on, the likes of Elias Ochobi of Rivers, won't have seen action. Then the other two goalkeepers, Francis Ozo and Michael Atata of Ikorodu City, they'll be the only three players not to have seen action at the Unity Cup. Or anything can happen. So you have some 4 minutes to play here as Chibike Nwewu will definitely escort the attention of not only the manager but also Nigerians. And it's not someone we in the NPFL circle we've been aware of him for a very long time.
Talking about Wale?
Yes.
Yep.
And I was at Enyimba.
Solid player.
Can play in defensive midfield, can play as a centre back.
The funny thing is, I only knew he was a midfield player until I started seeing him playing a defensive position for his Turkish club. I was like, wow, so you can play defensive. And also when he was invited for the Super Eagles earlier on, he played in the defensive role. Really good for Nwewu. I just hope that the trajectory of his Super Eagles career will continue to shoot up here because he looks very comfortable playing in that central defense.
Right, we have less than 4 minutes to play, and as it seems, the Super Eagles will be coasting to this Unity Cup title in London. That's a foul free kick to Nigeria. Oputa has been barged into by the Jamaican number 5. That's Clark. Hope he's going to be fine as he clutches onto his ankle, but it's look good. Yeah, that was just a bit of a touch on the ankle. Hope he's fine.
I hope he's nothing serious because he's still clutching onto that ankle. But the referee has allowed him to stand up and continue play here. He's not okay. I think the referee is now calling for the stretcher. He's not getting up. Oputa is not getting up. It's looking like a very serious injury for him. But he'll be thanking his stars that the season is over already.
Yeah, it looked like
it was a stamp on his ankle.
Yeah, Clark, just clattered into him while trying to recover the ball. And the physios are ready on the pitch to quickly give some attention, but he's giving the thumbs up. Seems he will be able to come on or to go on. When a player like this hoping to really impress the manager, you just want to
you want to do everything in your power,
even go through the pain and ensure that you give your all. It's not been a bad tournament with the introduction of India into the mix. I mean, we're used to having the likes of Republic of Ireland. Unity Cup.
In those days, last time out it was Ghana.
Ghana, yeah. But Ghana can't be here because we have serious things to attend to.
Absolutely, serious engagements. And you look at it critically, all the teams that are here are not really engaged in critical matches. India, Zimbabwe, Jamaica, Nigeria.
India would have preferred to be on a cricket oval than on the pitch, for those games today and on Wednesday.
To let you know about this, Olale, I was even surprised that India is still playing football. Like, they're serious on their football now, and it's a good one that we've seen that from India. The stories we used to hear about India growing up was that, hey, they used to play
Nigeria,
and beating teams as many goals.
They also got the tapping into the diaspora
players.
Yeah, trying to convince all of them to come play for them.
But not much of them are playing football. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, they've got quite a few also in England of Indian descent.
Right?
Yeah, who can still do it for India. So I think that's what they're also trying. Look at Curacao, for example.
Yeah.
Most of the players from Curacao are of Dutch descent because of the proximity and the relationship over the years between the Netherlands and Curacao.
So good. I just hope that one of these days we'll see some of these teams thrive apart from the other sports that they thrive in. I know India to always be cricket and the rest of them. Let's see them also thrive in football and see if they can pull their weight in that sport too.
Alright, Super Eagles just trying to see this one out. Kenneth Iboke now as play resumes. Lovely turn from Filippo Tele there. That pass has to be good, but it's lacking in quality. When you make that kind of turn, that pass has to be good.
Yeah, the final balls has to be solid. After you have him apologizing to Terry Murphy for not giving that pass accurately, but that was a good turn from him to beat his marker. 4 minutes of extra time, and you've got to say the Super Eagles will definitely see this one out for a 2-goal lead.
So 4 minutes will be added on, and you definitely will back the Super Eagles to see this one out. To be honest, Jamaica have not asked questions of the Nigerian defense.
That's the thing about this Jamaican side.
Assault on Nigerian goal.
I've not seen anything of sort in this match. And
looks like Super Eagles might just have added insults to injury for Jamaica. Confirmation should drop in a bit as Jamaica sends in a throw-in. They've pushed everyone up front in here. The Super Eagles will try to take advantage of that loose pass. So Taylor, can he get this pass right? He gets it right. Sends it to Mandemwa to finish to make it 3-0 for Nigeria. And it's a Shehu Abdullahi who has gotten his brace, his second of the night. It's now game, set, match. It's final whistle. Jamaica 0, Nigeria 3.
Good run up to that goal. You've got to say it was a team effort, a team goal. This is the kind of game or goal you want to celebrate because it's a team goal. It was passes upon passes, and the final ball to Alassane Yusuf, who was more or less overlapping into that final third, and that was a fantastic run from Filippo Tele, I guess, who played in that pass for Alassane Yusuf, and that was a quick and sweet finish from Alassane Yusuf. A fantastic move here from Filippo Tele. I am happy he's been able to get an assist.
Great vision.
It was good, and the finishing from Alassane Yusuf tells you of how incredible he's been as the leader of this team.
So that's about it. Shehu Abdullahi started it, and it seems to have ended it.
Can we please stick to Alassane
Yusuf? He has started it, and he has put an end to it. Dream final for the Lusitania midfielder. And the Jamaicans have been well beaten here. I think the major difference between Jamaica and Nigeria tonight has also been the quality of the finishing. Anytime we've had a chance to really have a pop at goal, the finishing has been really good.
Yeah. As
Alassane Yusuf is now being substituted, you'll get an ovation, no doubt.
For me, I find it very funny that he plays in the MLS and still gets called up by the Super Eagles.
Plays in the Portuguese second division, no MLS.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lusitania. So I think Eric Chell is just trying to get a couple of the players to make their debuts. I can see Tosia Idoko getting ready to come on with just a minute or two to play. And also I can see Aderemi of Ikorodu City also coming on as well. Also coming on is Tosi Oyedoku. I wonder why Tijani Alamin. I think Alamin later came on for Chibike Nwewu.
Yep, I guess so.
The game's almost over. They probably just have a feel of the turf. Nothing much for them to add. As Jamaica win a late free kick in the center circle. Can they at least put some respect on the scoreline? Send the ball to the right hand side. Can they get a quality crossing? As the center referee takes a look at his time. Jamaica just trying to get this one back into the area, but it's out for a goal kick. And that should be the final piece of action from the Valley in London. Anytime from now, the final whistle should sound, and I'm hoping that we'll get some fans invade the pitch.
Come on.
Is that not sufficient enough for the Unity Cup?
Well, I don't think the fans here will be invading the pitch too. These are not even the superstar players.
He's getting ready to invade the pitch. He's warming up. He's just
he's allowed to invade the pitch after the final whistle. I think he's the only one who can invade the pitch.
These guys celebrating.
I can see an Arsenal fan in there, an Arsenal ladies fan, trying to celebrate the Super Eagles, even though Arsenal has brought tears to our eyes just some minutes or an hour ago. But hey, it is what it is. The Super Eagles are champions again of the Unity Cup. You want to call them perennial champions of this competition. More or less, they should name it after the Super Eagles.
Yeah, just call it the Super Eagles Unity Cup or Nigeria Unity Cup. And it's finally over. Jamaica have been put out of their misery. The Super Eagles are champions. They've defended the Unity Cup again.
With some French players, by the way.
Hostilities have ended here. Jamaica 0, Nigeria 3. In a game that we felt was lacking in overall quality, the Super Eagles have been able to score 3 goals. Shehu Abdullahi, definitely the man still in the show with a brace. And not forgetting Femi Aziz, who also contributed with an assist as well.
I think Alassane Yusuf definitely deserves this Man of the Match award. He's been fantastic in midfield, overlapping to get 2 goals. And that was an incredible display from the midfielder who has really shown out a fantastic footballing expertise on this day, where he's the captain of the side, the leader of the team. Even though we have other players who are leaders like Moses Simon, who are supposed to be in the squad, Aqua Adams, but hey, it's been Alassane Yusuf who has been.
What is happening?
Well,
they are having
a celebration.
A celebration, an over-the-top celebration for the Unity Cup.
All right, these guys might not get the opportunity to play for the Super Eagles again. I'm just saying, hey.
So should we celebrate the Unity Cup?
Well, I won't say celebrate in the sense of how these players are celebrating. If these players were to be the likes of Wilfred Ndidi, Samuel Chukwueze, then you can say, hey, maybe they're taking it a bit over the top. But these guys might not get the opportunity to play for Nigeria again. That's the truth.
I think that they will get an opportunity. I think that a couple of players, not a couple, maybe a sizable number, have made an impression on the mind of the manager.
Absolutely, you're right. Tochukwu Nadi definitely has to be called into the Super Eagles regularly now. But for me, I still feel that a majority of those players will not get that call up. I don't think so. For me, Otele, yes, he got an assist today, but I don't think he merits getting into the Super Eagles squad. And I won't be surprised if he's one of the players are really happy that he's won this trophy for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Because for them, I can tell you that a majority of those players in the squad, this might just be the last time they'll be getting the opportunity to play, and this will be more or less a memory for them that when they play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they won the Unity Cup for the Nigerian team.
Alright, maybe we can spend a minute or two to take your calls if you want to join in and celebrate Nigeria triumphing and defending a Unity Cup title. Feel free to call us. The numbers right there at the bottom of your screen. And before we wrap up, don't forget to also click on that subscription button. Subscribe to our channel so you can get notified anytime we're about to serve you another watch along of goodness with the sprinkle of African football. But who has been your player of the tournament?
Well, I will still go for Femi Aziz because he's got 2 goals and 1 assist in the 2 matches he's played. Alassane Yusuf comes close, but I will stick out my neck for Femi Aziz.
Femi Aziz takes it for Timi, and I think I will agree with him that the Millwall forward has been the revelation of the tournament as well. Is this the launch pad to greater things internationally for the young player of Portuguese heritage as well? Remember, his full names are Miguel Femi Aziz Belonso. Is this the beginning of great things for him? We can only find out in the near future.
Yeah.
All right. We have come to the end of this watch along. It's been a successful one, like the one that Timi and his courts were involved in Budapest. But it's all good. Nigeria have won the Unity Cup, and we're glad that we could bring you all of the action right here on vivxsports, right here on YouTube. Remember to continue joining the family. The community is getting bigger and bigger, and we will be here for Nigeria versus Portugal happening on the 10th of June, and also Poland versus Nigeria happening on the 3rd of June. All the coverage, all the action is right here on vivx Sports. All right, Timmy, thanks for stopping by.
Always a pleasure. Anytime for vivx Sports.
All right, and thank you to everyone who also enjoyed this one. To all the Arsenal fans out there, take heart. I mean, you can still take a lot of positive from the season that has officially come to an end in winning the first Premier League title in 22 years.
Half bread is better than football buff. Arsenal should take that to the bank.
Timmy in his full elements. That's our package for you, and we'll see you next time at the special grace of God. Till then, stay safe, guys. Bye bye for now.
From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. It's only taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays
Unity Cup is right before us. The 4th edition. So this one.
It's a privilege to do this with you. Draws. I mean,
Absolutely. The Warriors of Zimbabwe arrive here with that fear. We've got a very interesting figure leading them from a player, Kaitana Tembo. And we're hoping that he can restore some sort of winning streak to the Zimbabwean side. They've had their fair share of struggles as the Super Eagles starting really brightly here in their white top.
this shot the goal.
A new boy with a new club. From Millwall, he's pulling trees for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Femi Aziz, that's the name. It's only taken 5 minutes to get the Eagles soaring in South London. 5 minutes into his debut, Nigeria might have just discovered a new sensation. And the Warriors are being stoned here by the Eagles. Nigeria wants Zimbabwe nil.
What a strike that was from the edge of the box. That was a fierce finish, and you don't get too many opportunities to score for the national team in your debut, on your debut, and that's what Femi Aziz, who plays